What's going on, everybody? My name is Seth and you're watching 252 Squad, and in today's video I'm going to be going over my 2013 Ford Mustang GT. I'm going to be telling you if the S197 5.0s are a good daily driver or not. So this right here is my 2013 Ford Mustang GT Premium MT82 car, 6-speed manual, all that fun jazz, navigation, all the good stuff. And since getting the car, I traded in a 2016 Honda Accord Coupe for it, and so I'm just dailying this for right now, and I'm going to be telling you in my 3 months of ownership and honestly 7,000 miles if it's a good daily or not.
1, 2, 3!
So let's go ahead and get started with some daily items. Fuel mileage, pretty much passenger space, as well as luggage space, storage space, and just overall driving ability. So we're gonna start with fuel mileage. Today, fuel mileage, I'm gonna tell you right now, with it being cold outside and me letting it warm up every morning, it's not very good. I've honestly only been averaging probably around 18 to 15 miles to the gallon. It's not very good. I also live in Raleigh, North Carolina, and right now it's very busy on the roads. My normal 4-mile commute to work is turning into a 20-minute drive, so that's not really helping too much. It's not the downfall of this car. If you're on the highway and you do a lot of highway driving, I've noticed this thing on 93 will get anywhere between 25 and 27 miles per gallon if you're just cruising in 6. It's not too bad. If you're actually cruising around 60 miles an hour, this car actually does really good. It'll get about 30, which is amazing. It's fantastic. I love that, but I don't do that very much. Now, the next thing I wanted to get into is the space on the inside of the car. Of course, you know it is a Mustang, so it doesn't have that much space. You can see my car is a premium, so it does have leather interior. It does have touchscreen, navigation, all of that, 6-speed manual. The car does have the digital dash option in there. There isn't a lot of back space, I will say that. It is enough that you can fit a smaller human being back there. My little brother, who is like 5'7" and 140 pounds soaking wet, he can fit back there. Wouldn't really try to stuff anybody who's my size, about 6 foot and 200 above back there. It's not very tight. It's very tight. It's not good on the knees, but it does allow you to fit a lot of stuff back there. The car itself has held a lot of stuff. In fact, in future videos, I got a Ford Performance aluminum 1-piece drive shaft, cloud clutch, and a few other parts like Boss 32. I fed it all in the back of this car. Like loaded to the brim. I've had an 18 plus manifold and the 302 manifold in the passenger seat alone. So it does have a lot of space if you're fitting things that it is not like human and has to be tucked in nicely. It does fit a lot of stuff. Now, I'm gonna get into overall drivability on the car, and we're gonna go ahead and talk about the killer part about this car for drivability in places like this where it's crowded.
Did you say chocolate?
Yes, sir.
And that is the manual. If you do have a manual option car, driving in traffic can suck a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, like I said earlier, my commute that should be 5 to 10 minutes takes 20 minutes now, and it does not make it good for driving a manual. It's a lot of stop and go, a lot of red lights, a lot of just overall weird things that happen. People seem to get in an accident every day in Raleigh, so it makes it where the drive can take a long time, and it can be very sore on your left leg by the time you get to work. All that aside, the car does drive really good. If you're on the highway cruising, my car is lowered on Ford Performance lowering springs, and that's about all to the suspension, and it drives really nice, really smooth. It is on 20s, and so that affects it a little bit, but it still makes it drive really good. This one back here is my old daily from when I was 16 to 18 years old, and I can tell you that one honestly was worse daily than what this thing was. And it's kind of funny because this is a 4-door Honda Accord with a V6 and an automatic, and this is a 2-door Ford Mustang with a V8 and a 6-speed, and this thing is way more fun to drive in traffic most of the times. Even though you got a foot off the clutch, it's fun to rev it, it makes good noises, and it actually is really smooth. Buy a Ford Focus, actually. That's the smarter car to buy. Certified race car. Now, one massive upside to daily driving a car like this is if you're like me and you can't stand driving a stock car, it makes you hurt on the inside, especially when you're in traffic and you see your cool car buddies going around, you see another Mustang on the road. It's always great to have something like this because it always blends in and it's always nice. The only other problem with driving a Mustang like this is everybody wants to race. I had a dude in a Ram 1500 doing a burnout beside me on Capitol Boulevard of Raleigh, which is a massive road, because I was in a Mustang, revving at me, doing burnouts, screaming out the window. Like, bro, dude, I would walk you. I do not care. Just stop. People will try to race you so much in this thing. Maximas, Altimas, dude, RT Chargers, bro. V6 Chargers, bro, calm down. Now, there is the Fast Boys, and R8 tried messing with me the other night, bro. I didn't even want to leave it in the... I left it in 6, bro. I let him go because I'm getting gapped, and I'm not facing that embarrassment. But overall, these cars are really good dailies. We'll say the auto is a little bit more practical for daily driver use, but the manual is just more fun. If you're living in a more countryside area that doesn't have as many cities, highways, or anything like that, I would get a manual, I would get a V8, and I would absolutely rip the heck out of it. If you do live in a bigger city area like Raleigh here, I wouldn't say I would stay away from the 6-speed. If you're a confident manual driver and you've been driving manual for a long time, it's not a bad thing to have. But if you're a fresh manual driver like I was when I first got this car, it is a little bit challenging. The clutch return spring here, you could probably just get rid of if you are new at driving manual, because it makes it a lot easier to drive on an everyday basis. I will have to say, after all of that I've talked about, the better daily is really an S550. I will not lie, the S550 is going to be more comfortable, better to drive, and a little bit friendlier on the leg if you get a manual.
Can't confirm, the S550 is a better choice for a daily, but that doesn't take away from the fact that the S197 is absolutely amazing.
Then what an S197 will. Now don't get me wrong, I love my S197 so much. I prefer this one because it's more muscle car feeling, as well as I like the body style more than the S550 a little bit. But I will say that the S550 does rule in areas like driving ability. It is a little bit more comfortable to drive. Of course, it has a nicer touchscreen, nicer radio, nicer interior. This thing is a 10-year-old car, so it does come with that issue. But in all seriousness, it still drives really well, has no issues as far as the driving feel goes. It just is personal preference, but as a daily level, I will say that the S550, I will say, is the better daily. And with that being said, guys, that's going to be the end of this video. I thank y'all so much for watching and continued support of the channel. The channel is growing and doing greatly. And if you want to continue supporting, like the video, subscribe if you already haven't. So thank y'all for watching. Have a great rest of y'all's day. Peace out and see you next time.
With or without nuts?
Chocolate?